yourself?
Good, so good, so impressive. This is Banks found out a little fact. This is the highest form we'd ever seen in a grand final.
Incredible. So we tried to do the numbers. Nico got it in 2017 a 1.70 rating, yeah? Now he, as a rookie, in his first big event, in his first championship, has the same number, exactly 1.70, and becomes the youngest ever to lift the trophy, beating Manassi by a few months, and being the youngest ever MVP of a big event.
Nearly over a decade ago, a young star entered the server, but it didn't take long to exceed expectations of fans. Even other players were in awe of his abilities. I don't want to say he's like the Michael Jordan of CSGO, but he has the same superstar mentality. He wants to win every practice 16-0. One of the most skilled CSGO players in the world, and one of the most talented individuals I've encountered in my 15 years in esports. When people play against Simple, they are scared of him. Simple reads the game like no other player. When you think you have him backed in a corner, he's not there. A long time ago, I stopped anti-stratting him. The kid was a revolution for Counter-Strike at the time, but he knew his career was just getting started. My main goal is to be a part of history. I am sure that I have not hit my peak and that I can play better. It's safe to say that all the admiration he received at the genesis of his career was no exaggeration. But is this the type of performance a newcomer must have to eventually become one of the greatest players of all time? What is the threshold or signs we look for to truly know if a young talent will blossom into a generational superstar? Because right now, there is a newcomer on the server who may just be on that path. And if history tells us anything, if what we've seen since CSGO holds true, Donk is the next generational superstar.
Buddy, our new GOAT, his name is Donk.
Donk just destroyed us on the first half.
He sprays like no one I've seen in a long time.
He's always moving. His counter-strafing doesn't look like he's counter-strafing, but I mean, I guess he must be. The bullets are going straight.
Yeah, he's special.
Right?
He's very special, yeah.
He's one of these generational geniuses, as in, there's been Simple, there's been ZywOo, and now there's Donk.
Said that Donk had been nerfed. Didn't seem that way.
They're fucked.
This video is sponsored by myself. Please like, comment, and subscribe to enter, and the winner will be announced at the end of the major, and they will get the cheapest knife I can buy on skinsbid.com. Congratulations to OhnePixel and Zipple with Ecstatic making the major. We are now 7 months into Donk progressing from the Spirit Academy roster to their main roster. Finally, we've been able to witness him against Tier 1 LAN competition. All the hype we built up was warranted. But how good has he actually been? Put aside the highlights and the media machine, how good has he actually been since arriving to Tier 1? Well, according to every metric, he's having one of the best breakouts we've ever seen in Counter-Strike history, starting with his output every time he steps on the server. In his first big event, Donk managed an astronomical 1.7 rating, as well as leading the tournament in kill differences, kills per round, headshots per round, and open kills per round, across a staggering 12 maps. The only other first-time big event players to pull these numbers off were no one. He is the first and only player to pull off these numbers in his first big event. Some players that have come close in their first big event were names like Simple, ZywOo, Device, coldzera, Nico, and Olofmeister, which is some pretty solid company to be included with. But Donk is doing this at 17. If we take a look at HLTV rating, one of the best metrics available to us, we can see some star players in their first big event. Below 1, we still see great players and many major winners, including Stewie2K, Guardian, Rain, Elige. You got to keep in mind, realistically, any player that can have a positive rating in their first event is having a super start to their career. Kenny S, Forrest, Nico, Device, and Monassi all had very respectable starts. You'll have to keep climbing to find some of the greatest of all time in their first events. Names like Simple, Get Right, Freiberg, ZywOo, and Magist. And then there's Donk's absolutely insane performance compared to everyone else. This wasn't just across a few maps. This was 12 maps against some of the best teams in the event. They went across Ranked 3 Na'Vi, Ranked 7 Complexity, Ranked 11 Falcons, and completely dismantled number 2 Ranked FaZe, beating them in all 5 maps across the 2 series, against a side that had made it to the first 6 grand finals in CS2. If we limit the list to every player's performance in their first grand final of a big event, we truly see how impressive this kid is. Even simple stardom that shines brighter than almost everyone's couldn't muster one. All-time greats like Nico, Device, Freiberg and Kenny S pale in comparison. The only player that is within touching distance is ZywOo, which brings up an overlooked point. ZywOo had already played in 3 big events, and he played against ranked 10 NRG and ranked 11 Furia to claim his first title. ZywOo was already well on the way to turning 19. Donk just turned 17, and at one of the most decorated tournaments, he delivered that. Some of these players are the greatest to ever do it, and none come close. If you watched a Donk demo, you'd think he was cheating. To do it online is one thing, but to do it on LAN confirms it. Donk has elite game sense. Here he gains 2 kills through the smoke without information. It's not down to luck. He knows that they can be there and he trusts his intuition to pull it off. Well, how about his spray and aim control? Despite being on an eco, there is absolutely no hesitancy in holding down mouse 1. He continues to fight knowing that he can win the duels. And the full abuse of holding down W. Gaining control over the map and still winning these duels. No one has been able to run around the server and take fights with such precision and ease. Because Donk is the only human on this planet that can consistently pull this off right now. Everything he does just looks easy. He has the aggressiveness and entering of Electronic, game sense and awareness of Flusher, the aim of Nico, Simple and Monacy's reaction time combined, and just a superior mentality. You could easily make the argument that Donk is the most important player to a team in Counter-Strike right now. And he's doing it before he can even have a beer. So how good is he? Better than most of us thought he would be. Stuff we wouldn't see in our lifetimes. The foundation of his game virtually sets himself apart from anyone that we've seen. He has a skill set that allows him to thrive against anyone, anywhere on the server. He has this competitive edge that will allow him to get better over the years. We've seen the greats, and they've all had their flaws. Nico, whilst being one of the greats, has never won a major. Simple was a toxic teammate that took years until he could sort his issues. Device took time to adjust to the big stage. Donk has none of these qualities and is simply better. The signs of a true generational star are there. One of the best talents in Counter-Strike history, and doing it all before he's even turned 18, is some sort of sick joke. He checks all the boxes, admittedly with a small sample size. He isn't just a star or a superstar, but a transcendent face of Counter-Strike. If a young player produces like the greats did, and he's improving like the greats did, and showing more than signs and flashes like the greats did, then he probably is. After taking a deeper look into his stats, barring some catastrophic event, it would essentially be impossible to be this good early on in your career and not progress into a generational talent. So how good is Donk actually? Better than we thought he'd be.